Okay, good evening, good evening. Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So how was our day? How was the week? For those that your week has ended. I'm asking, I said, how was our day? How was our week? Especially
Yeah, but
for those that your week has ended today for work. Okay. So we will not be wasting time. Our class tonight is going to be just for 1 hour. That was why I tried to shift the class backward so that at least we can spend more time. For our Muslim brothers and sisters objected that it was their prayer time. So we'll start immediately. In the next 1 hour, I'll be rounding up. That's due to some things. Yeah. So I'm trying to see how I can finish within that time. Okay. So where did we stop last week? Someone should remind me where we stopped. Where did we stop?
I'm charge assistant.
Okay, I'm waiting for a hand. I'm asking, what did we do last week? Who can help us? Who can help us? Okay, 8 dates, 18. 8 date 18. You can unmute.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, we stopped at Hlookup closest match.
Okay, we look us closest match. Okay, that's fine. So did we start Xlookup? Did we start Xlookup? Did we do anything around Xlookup? Okay, okay. So at this point, I want to believe everyone has this data set. So let me share my screen now. Okay, so everyone can see my screen, right? So I want to believe everyone has this data set because I dropped it in the group last week. So I want to believe we all have it. Is that true? Do we all have this data set? Okay, please, if you don't have it, just go to the group, ask there, someone would help drop it for you. The data set was dropped last week. Okay, so now for our assignment, those that did your assignment, you've seen the names of those that successfully submitted. So now for the assignment, some people did absolutely very different thing from what I asked us to do. Meanwhile, I remember very well in this class that I, I, I even had to do example to show us what to do. Yet I was still very confused when some persons were doing totally very different thing from what I asked us to do. So I think before we even move forward, let's look into that. So I need just one person here. If you know you did the assignment and you have your journey with your this thing, please let's do correction very fast before I would come in. So who can share his or his screen and do the correction, everything for us? Please, if you can do that, just lift your hand. You know you can share your screen to do the correction for us. Please just raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Okay, Samuel. Samuel, you can unmute. Samuel, please unmute. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, sir. Sorry. Good evening, sir, and good evening to everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're with a device that you can share, right?
Yes, sir, I'm with my laptop.
Okay, so please, I need someone else to volunteer so that you would mediate between him and the class, reading the messages for him so that he would carry everyone along. Please, who's going to do that for us? We know you're in a quiet place. Okay, Kesmon. Dr. Kesmon, okay, you can unmute. Hello?
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Please, can you talk again? Let me see. I'm getting hotbacks from your background. Hello?
Yes.
No, I don't think we can work with that sound. Please, someone else who is in a better place. If you know you're in a quiet place, I just need you to be the mediator between him and the class. So please, if you're in a quiet place, just raise your hand and help us. Anybody? Hello, please, let's not waste time on this now so that we can do. This is serious. Okay, I think maybe Kesmon has changed his location. Kesmon, you can unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I think it's better now.
Yeah, my place is quiet.
Okay. Okay, Samuel, you can go ahead now.
All right, sir. Let me see.
So just
Let me try. Oh, okay. So, can you see my screen, sir? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can see your screen. Kesmon, what's happening now? You're supposed to be our mediator here.
yes, it's visible now.
All
Please
right.
also check the messages so that you can respond to him also and tell him where maybe people have concern.
Okay.
So, Samuel, you know how we do it. You do everything from a new sheet so that everybody can see how you got everything you got.
All right, sir. Understood. So, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I don't know, Mr. Moderator, I greet you.
Thank you. I greet you too.
Thank you. Okay, so I will kindly ask you to remind us of the assignment so that we can start the practical session.
Okay, there was a data sheet given which involves the first name, gender, and other parameters. We were to use VLOOKUP to return all the parameters for each of the column and customer ID.
All right, thank you, thank you. I think this is the original data set.
Let's have a look at the original sheet.
Yeah, this is the original sheet. We have here customer, full name, gender. I hope it is. So if it is, then we'll dive into the work. We are going to create a new sheet. This is the new sheet I just added. So I want to rename it VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Since I've already created one, let me just name it VLOOKUP 1 so that I will differentiate it from the other one. So the assignment was asked to create a drop-down list. And then using that drop-down list, we're going to return the information once a customer's ID is selected from the drop-down list. So what we're going to do now is to copy these headers and transfer it to the new sheet we just created. So I'm going to copy everything here. I will copy and paste it here. So I have this. I will delete this. I have this. I'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, I will arrange it in such a way that it looks presentable. Use this.
Samuel,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moderator, you're not doing your work. Oh. What he's doing is on a sheet that we are not seeing. We are only seeing a different sheet while he's working on another sheet. So, Samuel, what happened there is when you shared your screen, you did not share
Yes.
the entire screen. So now
Oh, I did.
the sheet you're moving to, we can't see it. We are just stuck on the first screen that you shared.
Oh, let me see what is going on. Share the entire screen.
It's the new sheet.
Okay. Share entire screen. Can you see me now?
Not yet.
Is it all right?
No,
You can't see the sheet where I'm working.
no.
All right, let me check what's happening. Share the entire screen. All right.
Okay.
Samuel, you muted yourself. Unmute, unmute. We can't hear you.
Unmute. All right. Can you get me now?
Yes, it's visible. Can you make it bold as well? That's what they're talking about on the chat area. Make it bold. Thank you.
Is it visible? I've increased. I've zoomed it a little bit. So is it visible?
Okay, I'll wait for their response. Yes.
All right. Okay. I hope we can move on.
Yes, the feedback says
All right.
yes.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. We just started by copying the headers from the original data set and transfer it to our new sheet. This is the headers I just copied, the customer's ID, full name, gender, country, and the rest. Those are the information we want it to be returned after we've selected the customer ID from our drop-down list. So what we're going to do next is to create our drop-down list. So we go on creating our drop-down list. We select the cell where we want our drop-down list to appear. So I've selected A2. I will move to data on the ribbon where I have data. On data, I will go to data tools. On this data tools tab, I will see data validation. I have here data validation, you can see. So I will click on data validation. When I click on data validation, it opens me this small box. You see here. So on that small box where you have this allow any value, so I will click on it to roll down, and then I will choose list because that's what I want to create. I will select list. On this list, when I select list, I have here source. Source is my source data where I want to upload my data. So I will click on it and come to my sheet where I have the original data set with the customer's ID. So I will select the row where I have the customer ID. So I will click on this first customer ID, Control Shift down arrow, so that I can select everything on that row, on that column, sorry. So after I've selected everything, I will load it. That's my data source. So I will load it. And then here I have input message. So I would just like to type in a message in order to facilitate the user. Title here, I can type in anything. I say input data. So here I'll say, please select the customer's ID. That's just a message I typed in. Okay, I will go to the error alert. What if the ID selected is not on our list, or the ID typed is not on our list? What should happen? So I will put this alert. I will not use the stop, but I would rather use the warning sign. So title, I will say not found. Error message, please select the correct customer's ID. So that's my error message I want to display. So after typing it, I will validate it on clicking on the OK button. So when I click on OK, I have this message, input data, please select the customer's ID. So if I click here, I will see that I just created a list, a drop-down list with the different customers' ID. So I can select any of them. I will see it will appear on the cell. I will select anyone, select. So the assignment was to create this list and use this list to return these different informations here. So we are going to use the list to have the full name, the gender, city, country, and all the like. So I will just arrange it, centralize it, and make it look good. All right, I think it is better. So we're going to use our VLOOKUP formula to return the full name based on the customer's ID selected. Are we on the line? Should I repeat the drop-down list again, or can we move on?
Yes, they said move on.
All right, okay. Thank you for that. So we're going to use the VLOOKUP formula to return the full name based on the customer's ID selected. So our formula is, say the equal to sign, then we type VLOOKUP. I will select it. VLOOKUP here. On our formula bar here, we have lookup value. What's our lookup value? Our lookup value is definitely the ID number. So I will select the customer's ID, then I will separate it. What's the next thing? The next thing says we should enter a table array. That's the table range. So our table range is, we go back to our original data sheet, Then we select everything on our data sheet. So I will select it from the top. We'll select everything from there. So I will separate with the comma. What's the next thing? It says column index. Column index, I will say what I want it to return is the full name. And based on our table array, the full name falls on the second column. So I will just put in a 2 and separate again. Here we have range lookup. Is it approximate match or exact match? Actually, what we are looking for is an exact match. So we select exact match. And then we close our bracket and hit enter. So when we hit enter, this is what we have. So I will just go and select the first ID so that we can actually verify from our original data set. So when I select this, that is 10.127, it gives me this name. So we go on our original sheet and we verify 10.127 gives this name. So we come here, meaning our formula is right. So is it understood?
Okay.
We take it again, or it is okay? We move on.
Yeah, Henry Watata has asked that you repeat.
All right. Okay. I'll take it again. We clear everything. Okay. I said to get this information returned based on the selected ID here, what we need to do is to use the VLOOKUP formula. Using the VLOOKUP formula, how does it work? Let's go into it and see how it works. We type in our formula equals to VLOOKUP. This is lookup. Okay, when I select the VLOOKUP formula, it indicates me or directs me what I'm going to do. It says enter a lookup value. What's our lookup value? Our lookup value is actually the customer's ID that we just created in the drop-down list. So I will not manually input the customer's ID. Since I want it to be from the drop-down list, I will reference the cell where I have my drop-down list. So I will click here to reference the cell. So actually, on my formula, I have A2. A2 is where I created a drop-down list. So each time I will select a customer's ID on that A2, it will appear in my formula. So after selecting that cell, we separate and we move on to the next condition that says we should select a table array. A table array is a table range. A table range, a set of data where we need to select or to match our given criteria to have the other criteria or the other information. So our table array is from our original data sheet. So we'll go there and select everything there. You can select from the second cell here to the bottom, but I would prefer selecting from the top, as I will select everything on these columns. So I'll select everything. Once I have selected my table range, I will separate and move on to the next criteria that says column index number. What's the column index number we are looking for? Actually, we are looking for the full name. And based on our table array, full name falls on the second column. So I'm going to type in 2 that represents my second column. I separate with another comma. And then the next step is the range lookup. That's the matching. Are we doing an approximate match or a direct match? An exact match. So what we are actually doing is an exact match because we are using a fixed customer's ID. So what we are doing here is exact match. I will click on exact match and then close my bracket. That's my formula. My formula is completed. I will hit enter and this is what I have. If I select another name, another ID, this is what I have. So let's check. 141. That's it. It's actually what we have on our lookup, our VLOOKUP sheet. So is it understood? Can we move on?
Yes.
All right.
Just one question. Someone has asked, which app are you using?
Which
app are you using?
I'm actually using Excel. That's 365.
365. Okay.
Yeah, Excel 365. That's the version I'm using.
All right. It's similar to mine.
All right, that's great. Okay. I hope we can move on. So now we want to fill these other columns. Filling these other columns, we don't want to go in and type in each column. So we'll use the drag method. But when dragging, if I just drag from here, you see that it's going to give me male, but it has actually changed. From here, we had A2 being our reference cell. And then on the gender column, we have B2. So he has taken this B2. But if we drag to city, at times we may not have the correct city because male here appears so many times on that, on our original data set here. You see that we have male here, we have male here, we have male here. So if you're referencing this particular cell, it will not give us an exact answer. So what we are going to do is we're going to modify our formula here so that when we drag, we have the appropriate answer. Are you understanding? So here, what I have to do is I will lock this cell. I will lock this cell. That's I'll press my function F4. Have locked the cell. So if I drag, it will not. Sorry. Okay. I've locked this cell. So if I drag, it's not going to change. You see, here I have the same cell, and here I have an error message because based on my formula here, I'm still looking for a full name on column 2. That's column index number. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back in. Instead of using this column index number 2, we're going to use a column formula that's automatically going to increase the column number. Are you understanding? I don't want that each time we come here, we have to change the column number. And another thing here, where we selected our table array, we also have to block it from avoiding it to move relatively, because if you look at the cell where I just dragged, here we have from A to J, and here we have from B to K. So we have to block it. F4. It is done. So if I drag, you see that it will not move. You see that it has not moved. So it has simply given me this same information here because my column index is T2. So if I come here, and then change this to 3 and hit enter, it's going to give me male. So if I come on my original sheet, I see that this customer's ID corresponds to a male. But he has taken a reference from this customer ID and not based on this name. So now I don't want to manually input the column number. What I have to do is I want to insert a formula that will automatically increment the columns. So here I will type in my column formula. So I will type in column. I will select column, and then I will reference. You see on my formula, they say reference. So I will reference a column so that from that column, it will be incrementing. And based on this formula, my column index number was 2. That's the second column. And on this sheet, column B here represents the second column. So I will just reference any cell on column B so that it will take it from that column B, knowing that column B is the second column. So I will just click on this cell. When I click on that cell, I will close my bracket and hit enter. When I hit enter, you see that my formula now becomes another thing with the column formula that is imputed. So now, each time I drag, it is going to automatically increment the column numbers. So now what I will do here is I will drag from here to here. So you see, if I click here, you see that it has changed. From the B, it has gone to C. And here, it has changed from C to D. So what I can do is I can drag from here to the end. and I will have this. We have this. Let's select this. So you see that each time you select, everything change. So I will select another customer's ID, you see, so we can go to our original data sheet and compare. Here we have the gift as a hand fan that will be given to that person. If we click here, that's what we have. We have 6 as the quantity. We have hand fan, Kudo 1, Japan, country Japan, Tokyo, mail, and so on. That is actually what we are going to have from our data sheet here. So each time we select, it's going to change and give us the original information. Now, there's another problem that we realize while doing the assignment. Because here, if you notice, on this our original data sheet, we have some customers' ID that repeats themselves. So if you look, let me say there's 12 here. Okay, you see this row 12, row number 12, we have 141. And you come to this row number 3, you still have the 141. You see that this customer's ID has repeated itself down here. But once we select from our drop down list here, we're not going to have the second purchase be made. So what we're going to have here is only the first purchase he made. You see, here we have his gift was hand fan. When we come to here, it's obviously hand fan, but now it's product 2 and not product 1 that we had earlier. So that's the challenge we have using this particular, but since the assignment was just to use the VLOOKUP value and the drop down list to return the following information, I think this is what we'll ask. But if we were to use it to actually get the right information from here, we would have added another lookup column here so that we will differentiate the appearance of each customer's ID. So if I'm not making a mistake, I think this is what will ask from us. Are there any questions? Are there questions?
Yeah, just Amos wants to know how you selected everything on the county data set. Then some other persons are saying we need to move on to the course content for today.
All right. I didn't get you. How I selected everything from the original data set. I didn't get that
Yeah,
question.
everything on the count if data set.
On the count if data set. That's using VLOOKUP. Is it where we selected the table array?
Yes. Amos wants to
All
know
right.
how you did that.
All right. Okay. Let me clear it from here. Table array. Okay, our table array, we go to our count if sheet here. We just click where we have the column A. So at the top, you can click from there and drag to the right. So it will select everything from the top. So I just click where I have column A and drag it to the right. So when I drag, that's what I have. So I can come here now and lock it so that it will not move relatively. So I will lock it, then I hit enter. So each time I select a customer's ID, the information changes.
Okay. Then another question, it said, why did you use column B4 on the formula?
That's what I said. I used column B, but not cell B4. I said we want to reference the column index number. So we use this column formula to replace the column index number that was 2 here, because 2 represents the second column. So now I said, since on our sheet here, B here represents the second column, and so I can choose any cell, I can reference any cell under that B column. So it must not be B4. It can be B5, B6, but it should be on that B column since B is the second column.
Okay. So where is this 4 coming from? Because one will expect to see
row 4, column B.
Row 4, column B. No,
Yes.
I reference the cell. B4 is this cell I reference under column B. So I said you can reference any cell. So you can click.
Okay.
Yes, you can reference any cell. Let me change it. Let me reference, let's say B10. If I reference B10 and hit enter, it's still going to give us the same thing. You see that here now you have, you have C4. But if I drag from here, oh, sorry. If I drag the formula all through, you see, now here I have C10. So it's just referencing a cell under the B column because B column represents the second column. So rather than putting 2 here and each time coming to replace the column index by the column itself. So if I put 2 here, if I kept 2 where we have that column formula, I would have come here again and kept 3, keep on incrementing it manually. So I don't want to do that in order to reduce my time and avoid stress. Is it clear? Any other?
Okay, Samuel, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So I think you did a very good job, even though you had to go and you had to go and use something that I believe some people now are confused. Just by you using the column formula in that, you've gotten some people much more confused. Washa?
Yes.
Sorry for that. Sorry.
No, we started. Thank you very much. You did a good. For these people that are still asking how to lock a cell or how to, I'm surprised. If at this point you're still in this class and you're still asking people how cells are locked, and then there's a big problem because we've done this over and over and over. What he did using the column formula, of course, if you know how to do mixed cell referencing too, you can use that to control that movement also, and that would work for you. Okay, so that would not waste too much time here. Some persons are already giving us code. Let's move on to what we have for today.
Okay.
So Sam, you can end your share.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I believe everyone can see my own now. So we've done a lot around this last time. So let's just move to Hlookup. So the reason why I sent this data set to the group was so that we could do practice on our own. So I want to believe everyone has this. So this is Hlookup, but we are using this same data set. The only difference now is the data set we are using, where we are returning our values from, is from an horizontal format. Is in an horizontal format. It's no longer like here, where you can see here it was in a vertical format. It's the same data, but the only difference is here we have it in an horizontal format. And also, I talked about how you can convert what you have here into an horizontal format also, and see, okay, for example, if I want to convert this into an horizontal format, let me say I want to bring it here. So all I'll do is copy everything here. So if I copy everything here, come over to this sheet where I want it pasted, and then what I'll do, the paste option I would use would be paste as transpose. You can see as transpose. So if I paste this as transpose, so now you can see that data I have, now instead of it being in a vertical format, now you're seeing I have it in an horizontal format, as you can see. So now, if I want to see everybody here on this list, I'll just need to scroll this way in order to be able to see everybody. So this is now in an horizontal format. So when you have something like this, if you're trying to look for a value here, you cannot use VLOOKUP. Let me say maybe I want to look for the exam score of Ade, Lolu, Ade. So let me say that's the exam score. So I cannot use, let's say, equals to. So let me just have a Ade here as my lookup value. So equals to, so Hlookup. Of course, the same thing. My lookup value would be Ade, comma. Then what's my array? So because remember, we said it must always start from where your this thing is. So since I'm using the first name, so my array would be, I just want to use everything to this point, comma. Okay. So now you see instead of column index number, here it's asking me for row index number. So in all this array you've selected, which row are you interested in? That's what Excel is asking me. And it's exam I want to return. So exam is what row? This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. Exam is in row 7. So I'll just tell you row index number is 7. And then, of course, I need an exact match because I need exactly the score, exam score of a day. So the moment I give it that, it's my this thing and hit enter. You can see, showing me that a day scored 54 in his exam. Let's see how true that is. Okay, so this is where we have a day. You can see, and this is his exam score, 54. So the only difference here between the VLOOKUP and Hlookup is that for the H, you're using it when you're returning a value from a table or data that is being set up horizontally. But when you're working with data structured vertically, of course, you use VLOOKUP. But anytime you're working with any form of data that is set up horizontally, then that is where you would need to use Hlookup. So the H there basically is for horizontal, just like the V in the VLOOKUP is for vertical. So vertical lookup, horizontal lookup. Okay, so this is quite simple. I just wanted to show us this example before we come back here to do this. So now we know we are returning free cookies. So just like I said, because where we are getting our return values from is in an horizontal table, that's why we are using Hlookup. So my lookup value, of course, will still be the quantity ordered, comma. Then what will be my table array? My table array would be this, where I have these values I want to return. This will be my table array, comma. And then the next one here is it will ask me for a row index number. So in this array you selected, which row are you returning? Of course, here I'm returning row 2. And I'm looking for, yeah, I cannot say exact match because of course I want it to do an approximation for me because of the quantity and the free cookies we are, the parameters we are using to offer the free cookies. So I'll ask for an approximate match and then I'll close my formula and I'll hit enter. Of course, you can see this person bought 26 and you can see 0. So let me run it down for others. It's not working. Okay, so who can tell us why it's not working? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? Okay. No, at this point, just type in your answers for me. Somebody said because I did not create a table. Another said is cell locking. One said is relative referencing. Okay. So the reason why it is not working is because Excel is moving relatively. That's the reason. Excel is moving relatively. So if you come here and you check our table array, you can see A12 down to F13, which is, this is A12, this is F13. So from that point to this point. But now if I press enter and come down here and click, have you seen where my table has shifted to? Now it has shifted to A13 down to F14. So it's moving relatively downward. And if I come here, click on this, you can see it has moved again. So now I'm even outside of where I have so that's why I'm getting this. So in order to make sure this does not happen, what do I do? I'll make sure I just lock that away. So the moment I lock that array and I hit enter, you can see 0. Then let me put this down. So you can see now everything is correct, because at every point, it is still looking at this array. It's not moving beyond that array. And if I'm here, it's still in that array. Okay, so that is that for Hlookup. It's not something you would easily find a situation where you may need to use it. Yeah, because most data would always come in vertical format. So, but you just need to know. Okay, so let's move to Xlookup. We have just very small time left. I told you we'll be stopping by 9:30. That's because that was the reason I was trying to move the class backward so that we can cover a bit more time. Okay, so equals to. So now what are we trying to do here? We are trying to use Xlookup to return these values here. Now, what are these values? These values are, now we have order ID here, we have the product type, we have the unit sold, we have date of when it was sold, then we have revenue per cookie and cost per cookie. Of course, this is our profit, order profit. So now we want to make sure every cookie type here, we know exactly the revenue for it and the cost for it. And that information, we have it over here. This is the revenue for each of these cookie type. And this is the cost for each of these cookie type. But we want to return this information, use it and fill in this according to the product, the type we have here. So that is what we want to do. So X, so if you know how to use Xlookup very well, you may not even have any reason to use VLOOKUP, because X is simpler and X does not have all the restrictions that V have. So with X, you can look from left to right, you can look from right to left, whichever side you're looking from, X will look for you. And the good thing about X is VLOOKUP has a restriction where it will tell you one of the restrictions that VLOOKUP has is the fact that if you have an error, you cannot manage that error with the formula. You need to use another error formula to manage error. But in Xlookup, the formula already has a syntax for you to use and manage error. If you have an error, you can just manage your error there. And then another good thing with Xlookup is the fact that now you see in V, you have lookup array, and then you have to select your table array where the return array comes from. But here, I can select my lookup array and go further to select my return array differently. So unlike this other one. So that's why I can look from any angle. I can look from, because wherever I tell Excel to return from, that's where it will return. And wherever I'm looking from, that's where it will look from. So I'm not restricted to copy an array that contains both my lookup array and this thing together. No, that restriction is not there. Okay, so let's move forward. So in this case, my lookup value is going to be the product here, that's the cookie type, comma. Then my lookup array is going to be where am I looking up this thing from? My lookup array, where am I looking up this from? So my lookup array, in this case, I want to see if there's anybody here who can suggest where our lookup array should come from. Anybody, I'm waiting. Where should our lookup array come from? Table I to J, okay, I to second table, that's I to K, cookie type and price column. Okay. Okay. Nice try. Okay, that's enough, that's okay. So in this case, our lookup array would be K, column K. This will be our lookup array because this is where we have all the cookies type. Every cookie type here in this product sheet, we have it here. So that would be our return array, lookup array. Then our return array would be what we want to return. And in this case, what we want to return is the revenue per cookie. So that would be column I. That's what we want to return. So now you see, if not found, this if not found now is used to control error. So if I choose to put that option, if not found, you can see it is in square bracket, showing you that it's optional. I can choose to ignore it. All other syntax here, can see they're all in square bracket. Okay, so if not found, what I just want Excel to do is, if not found, just give me not found. So that's what I just want. Not found. That's what it should give me. Okay, then now I can see the match mode. Which one, what are you going for? Of course, we are using exact match. So you can see in this one, you have not just true and false. That's exact and approximate. Here you have different ones. You have exact, which is 0. You have -1, which is exact match or next small item. Then you have 1, which is exact match or next larger item. And then you have 2, which is a wildcard character match. And then you have 3, which is regex match. So all of this, okay. So, but here we are using exact match. So we select exact match, which is coming there as 0. So after you've done that, of course, if you still hit your comma, it will take you to the next one, which is the search mode. So you can also decide the search mode you want to use. Should it be from first to last? Should it search from last to first? Should it be a binary search? So all of this can, but we don't need this. So instead of that comma, we just end it there, close our bracket, and hit enter. The moment we hit enter, you can see there. So it's telling us that for this very cookie, the revenue is $5. So of course, if I run this down for others, you can see it has returned the revenue for every other cookie according to what we have here, because it has looked at this and is using this to return the revenues for us. So the same thing, if we are doing for cost per cookie, equals to Xlookup. So of course, our lookup value is still going to be this. Our lookup array is still going to be this. Then our return array this time is cost per cookie we are going for. And then the if not found. So let's ignore this now. And then match mode, let's take exact match. And then just close the bracket. Hit enter. So you can see there. So for this very one, that's the cost per cookie. And if I run this down, you can see it does return all the cost per cookie for each one for me. Okay, so at this point, I feel like most people have questions. So let me just take 2 questions. Remember I said 9:30 will be done. I'm very sorry about that. Tomorrow we'll have a full class. It's just due to a situation that I'm trying to manage. So that is why. That was why I tried to move the class 30 minutes earlier. But due to our Muslim brothers and sisters that said it fall within their prayer time, we just have to maintain our time. I'm very sorry, we'll do just 1 hour today, but tomorrow we'll have a full class. Okay, so now take just 2 questions so that we can round up. Oh, sorry, my screen. Okay, so let's listen to, okay, so only these 2 hands up. Please, no other person should raise their hand. Any other question, you can keep it till tomorrow. Okay, Gadioba. Gadioba, you can unmute.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you very much for this insight. Sincerely, I must confess, this is the best class I've ever attended since we started this training. So please, sir, the other time you showed us how to convert data sets in vertical array to horizontal array. So is it also possible to convert data in horizontal array to vertical array, sir? That's just my question.
Of course, if you can convert from vertical to horizontal, definitely from horizontal to vertical too should be possible. So you can try it out and see. Did you know what I used to convert it? The paste option I used?
Yes, I did, sir.
So try it and then try that paste option and see if it does it for you.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, Benga. Benga, I can unmute.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Eke.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
evening.
class so far. Yeah, regarding the H lookup, you know, when you first did it, the first two cells gave us 0, 0, while the third one got NA error. So you asked a question that why was it like that? Which I said because you didn't create a table for it. Even if you have created a table for it, the Excel wouldn't have moved outside of that table. So it's possible for you to create a table and still get the same value, and also without even referencing the cell. Is it the cell or the colon that you did earlier? I'm referring to the H lookup now. I don't know if you get my pointer.
Yes, I do. Yes, you're very correct because a table is a locked area. So anytime you put things into a table, Excel automatically locks that area. So that's what makes it a table. So if you change that part to a table, of course, it will be locked. So it will still not move relatively. You're very correct. Okay, thank you.
So that will be all for now. Thank you.
Maggie, you need to be fast because you're already. Maggie on mute. Please try and make it fast.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to ask something under Xlookup. When we were doing under Xlookup, I came to realize that there is no table array. So my question was here, does it mean that there is no locking of cells or tables?
If I was working, I'm working with tables, so I don't need to log anything because I explained it when we were doing VLOOKUP that whenever you're working with table, you don't log because table automatically is a locked area. But assuming, in short, the next example we have of this Xlookup is not a table. So you see that there we need to lock. So there's still locking depending on what you're working with. But this one, this is a table, so I don't need to lock anything.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to say a very big thank you to everyone. I'm very sorry that we just had to do 1 hour today. But please, tomorrow we'll take whatever your questions are, please keep it. I'll answer them tomorrow and then we'll move on from here. Thank you very much and good night to everyone.
Good night.